supporters of Dave's Tackle Box.
If I click the right button, that is. But I did eventually. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dave's Tackle Box. It's Sunday, the 2nd of June. Is it officially summer now?
I better check outside and see.
Dave's gone very quiet. Maybe if I unmute him. Say something, Dave.
Hello.
Ah, yes. Your video's freezing, but I've at least got sound now.
Is it?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's been really sunny here all weekend. It's been really, really good. Just thought I'd comment on that. But anyway, we've got a show to do, so I'll run the title, shall I? Here we go. And here we go. Right, and this time everybody's unmuted, but I'm just going to check. Say hello, Cat.
Hello.
That works.
Good evening.
And say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
It's nice to hear.
Good. Well, welcome to Dave's Tackle Box. For the second week in succession for Chris.
Oh yeah, I was here last week.
You were, weren't you? That seems like a long time ago now. I don't know about you, but it feels like a long time ago. But welcome to everybody who is either not watching the football or still enjoying what's left of the sunshine. Tonight on Dave's Tackle Box, we're going to do a bit of a sort of roundup of things that have been going on during the week. I know Chris wants to share experience of a new clearomizer with us at some point. Mm-hmm. So we'll wangle that into the proceedings somehow, and I mean, I always say this with a bit brave, really, when I say we'll even sort of entertain the thought of taking questions and stuff from chat. What could possibly go wrong?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I can see Dave, you're there. I can see Chris there. I can see chat there. And then there's some buttons and stuff to press over there, but I don't propose to touch them too often. So I think it'll be all right. Now, the basic reason for this format of show is that I didn't get home until sort of late on Friday this week. And I've had pretty naff availability as far as the internet is concerned all week. So I know, for example, there was an Envy Committee meeting on Thursday and stuff like that, but I don't really know what's changed and what's happened during the course of the week. I managed to catch part of Marco's show on Tuesday night, and that's all I've seen. So I'm pretty much in the dark. So I'm hoping you guys can bring me up to speed. So I think, why don't we chuck it to Dave first of all? Say, Dave, because I'm sure you probably covered this on Wednesday and Thursday. The current shenanigans and goings on at the EU. Share it with me.
We had Clive Bates with us on Wednesday night, and he was somewhat less than complimentary about a lot of what's been going on across in Europe, although very complimentary about Linda McCavan and her crossing of her boss, because as everybody knows, Glenys Wilmot is the boss lady over there for the Labour lot in Europe.
Indeed. Yes.
And of course, what Linda McCavan has proposed is ostensibly not medical status for e-cigs, although of course it is, because she's lifted all of the Y4s, heretofores, gone befores and wherefores straight out of the medical regulations. And in fact, it's going to...
Right.
She's kind of looking to do what they did with the herbal products. You can remember when we had Mandy on Donkey's
I
Age
do,
ago?
indeed. I remember it very well.
Yes, and that was kind of a harbinger of what was to come, although we weren't sure at the time that it was definitely going to happen, but it looks as though that's where Ms McCavan sees it going, much to the chagrin, it has to be said, of Ms Wilmot, who apparently thinks she's Lady Thatcher.
Well, yes.
Because-
I get the comparison there. She likes to bang the desk a lot, doesn't she?
Oh, it's not just that, but she also said e-cigs will be medicinal and anything else more or less over my dead body.
Okay, I can see a way that could work for everyone.
Well, yes, can I? Because if she wants to be like Lady Thatcher, I half wish she was, as Lady Thatcher is today. Yes. So she was less than happy about it. Was Ms Wilmot. So apparently, what's going to be happening now, after the Envy Committee meeting on Thursday, which they discussed e-cigs for all of an hour and 5 minutes, I think it was, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
Wasn't very long.
Right.
No.
And it wasn't much more than what they'd already done, but we're just kind of, saying, well, I think this, and I've posted an amendment or tabled an amendment to that effect, and I think this, and so on and so forth. Karl-Heinz Florenz showed his true colours yet again, and he's firmly in the Wilmot camp.
Right.
So apparently there's going to be a lot of talking behind closed doors, like the WHO presentation that came up on Thursday afternoon was done behind closed doors. So the World Health Organization got into conference and started talking to MEPs. What they probably didn't realise was that Clive Bates was there.
Right. Okay.
And if you go to clivebates.com around about 2 minutes past 10 and read what's said there, you'll see that yes, the World Health Organization is spinning propaganda on behalf of Big Pharma. I think it's fairly safe to say that, because when the envoy from the World Health Organization to Europe was questioned about snus, I cannot support snus, was what she said. As quick as that. And they're ignoring Sweden, effectively.
It's just incredible. I mean, just to check my understanding, then this sort of proposed amendment that came purportedly from Linda McCavan a couple of weeks ago. I sort of mentioned it briefly on this show a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. I mean, is that still alive and kicking? Or is McCavan proposing that, but Wilmot is opposing it, or?
Actually, the second one's right. McCavan is proposing what she calls light touch regulation. She says that there shouldn't be medicines. So basically what you ran through is what she tabled as an amendment.
Right.
And Wilmot is saying, over my dead body, it's not going to happen. I want medicines. It has to be medicines. It must be medicines, for I have said it has to be medicines, is what Wilmot is saying. I'm sorry, I keep on thinking Woolmuff, and I don't know why. So yes, the underling, Ms McCavan, has gone against the big boss.
Interesting. Now, just stop you for 1 second there. Apparently my audio is a little quiet, so bear with me.
My blood might have been boiling a little as well, I don't know.
Maybe that's a little bit better. I can certainly improve it by putting the mic nearer my gob. So that's better.
Yes.
Okay,
We're getting yes, it's better.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. So this is interesting then. So it's gloves off between McCavan and Wilmot.
Yes. She wants e-cigs as, get this, a cessation product, is a smoking cessation product, as in NRT, and nothing will change her mind at all.
Right. Yeah, which to be fair, she's at least been consistent, because she said that she came out with that crap right from the beginning, didn't she, Wilmot?
Oh, she's never changed.
Yeah. So ladies not for turning and all that.
Shame she's not for burning, but never mind.
Well, yeah. So I'll send her another letter.
I think we all need to be sending her letters. What good it'll do, I don't know.
They don't do much. She's one of that class of politician who's there for her own ends and not the people she represents. That's crystal clear to me. I'd like to say she's lost a vote in this constituency, but I'd never vote for her in the first place, frankly. But there you go.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay.
So, not a massively eventful week at EU level, but
well, do you know, to a certain extent, that could be a good thing, Dave, because when these things are kicking off, they've normally brought at least a little. There's been good news along the way, but they've almost invariably brought some new bad news with them, haven't they?
Yes.
So it looks like everybody's set out their stalls, so to speak, doesn't it?
Well, that's the case, and now apparently there'll be meetings going on where factions that are broadly aligned will come together and merge amendments, and it'll be, well, if you pass if you vote for Amendment 93, I'll vote for your Amendment 115, and if you do my 1122, you can do my, and blah, 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 blah. So hopefully there'll be enough support for my preferred set, and that would be the Taylor, Davis, Engstrom, Fjellner ones. And I've noticed one or two people campaigning to get e-cigs out of the TPD altogether, but I was having a chat on Twitter earlier on with Peter Stigard, and he's Danish, and the Danes, of course, already have medicalised e-cigs.
Right.
If the Taylor, Engstrom, Davies, Fjellner lot goes through, however, they will not be able to medicalise e-cigs unless there's an explicit health claim made that they are there to cure nicotine addiction. So that set of amendments actually would make e-cigs available to everybody everywhere, and not in a pharmaceutical way. It actually protects e-cigs. If they're taken out, then it's left up to each individual member state what they do.
Right. Yeah.
So yes,
and that's and I think that's worth comment on its own. That is, because that's not necessarily a good thing, even for the UK, is it? I mean, because the MHRA are talking about sort of a kind of light touch approach, but still really regulation as a medicine, isn't it? Just with a slightly accelerated, slightly cheaper, sort of licensing process. Yeah.
Well, you say slightly cheaper. That's exactly what was supposed to have happened to herbal products.
Yeah. And
there's an awful lot. Well, you've only got to look in Holland and Barrett and see what's happened there.
Yeah, half the stuff they used to sell is off the shelves, isn't it?
It's more than half. It's 3/4 of what they used to sell is gone.
Yeah.
You can get nettle leaves and that bodybuilding stuff that makes you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's pretty much all they sell now. That and nuts.
Yeah. So their business just got completely flattened due to this light touch herbal products regulation. It's not to be wanted, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Just having a quick look at some of the comments in chat there, and Thomas Beyer has just made the comment, yeah, of course, and Champix will still be there, though.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
If you ever needed proof that regulation as a medicine doesn't necessarily make things safe, there's a living example.
Well, when you talk about medicinal regulation, what is it? They want to be able to guarantee quality, safety, and efficacy. Champix, not awfully safe, and even on Champix, its efficacy is definitely in doubt. It doesn't matter what of the NRTs or medications you take, nothing's got better than a 7% success rate. So efficacy, that's out of the window. Safety and efficacy gone, and if it's not safe and it's not efficacious, the quality is not very high. So medicinal regulation's perfect.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, it's all very well knowing what the content of something is and being able to, being sure that it's been made to a consistent quality, but if it still causes you to jump off bridges.
Well, as Leanna Lawless has said, her doctor refused to give her Champix. He said that smoking was safer, and he's probably right.
Well, there you go. Top that. So, you got anything to add to that, Chris? Anything that you saw coming out of the let's call it shenanigans, because that's pretty much what it is. It's it's a horrible game with high stakes that seems to be going on at the moment. Is there anything that sort of caught your attention?
I found it quite disappointing, to be honest with you. And the fact that, some of the statements made were just... The fact that the WHO was behind closed doors was incredibly upsetting.
Yeah.
Because I really would have liked to have heard what was going on there as it happened, rather than having to go and read Clive's blog.
Yeah.
But no, it worries me a great deal. Everybody in chat there is making comments about when they've tried NRT and some of the bad effects. One of the comments I couldn't help but think about is somewhere along the line somebody mentioned that they didn't want people emulating smoking.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We didn't want us having something that worked like a cigarette. In that case, why did they produce the inhalator?
Well, exactly right. Yeah.
Works the way smoking does, that you sit there and I was the biggest fool going. I bought one of them and I forgot to keep changing the cartridges. And Sav will tell you I went round with this thing stuck in my mouth 24/7. And I thought, this is creating something worse than what I ever had before.
I've never tried any NRT. So I'm always interested to hear people's experiences of that. But there was a point just made in chat there. Somebody asked, so they don't know what we mean by efficacious, and basically it means effective. Does it bloody work? Does it do what it's supposed to do? And I think your comments there about the inhalator probably answer the question on that.
Mm-hmm.
They're about as much use as a chocolate fire guard.
Yeah, exactly. Chocolate teapot.
Yeah. Those horrible patches, they gave me the 25 milligram, which meant no sleep. Your eyes were like zooming all the time.
Right.
And when you did go to sleep, you had nightmares. How can that be good for you?
That's quite a common side effect from NRTs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, because
I'm sorry.
You can't control it.
Yeah.
And what they fail to understand, all of them, is that there isn't a smoker on the planet that takes a regular, in inverted commas, dose. You might be, I don't know, you get up on a morning, might have a couple of fags, jump in the car, get to work, have a couple of fags on the way, but when you get to work, you don't do anything for a while. And then 11:30 or whatever time, 11 o'clock, whatever time you get away, you go out and have a couple of quick sneaky fags, back in, and you're another 3 or 4 hours. And your nicotine levels like this all the time.
Yeah.
With NRT stuff, the whole idea is to keep it constant at a slightly lower level, what they think is the average. And that's why it doesn't work. One of the reasons why it doesn't work. And it's one of the reasons why people end up feeling giddy, dizzy, nauseous, and all the rest.
Yeah.
As you did, Chris. Because you've got this constant level that you can't control. With an e-cig, it's a completely different matter, of course. You control exactly how much nicotine you get, because when you're fed up, you put it down. When you want some more, you pick it up. And it's that easy, and you've got it there.
It's a classic example, isn't it, of trying to find the lowest common denominator, which most medicines do, and trying to control something that ultimately is all down to personal preference and personal tolerances. It's I dare say that if people like will not get their way and we get sort of prescribed or at least controlled doses of e-liquid, then we'll revert to, people will suffer the same side effects and the same symptoms, won't they?
Absolutely. Well, those of us that order in 5 gallons from China won't.
Well, quite. Yes, when I say we, I mean those that play ball.
Whip It Up just said in chat there about the palpitations. And that's something that a lot of people on NRT complained about.
Yep.
Now, that is a side effect of overdosing of nicotine. Now, if you've got an e-cig in your hand and you were to feel palpitations setting off headache, the fuzziness, any of those things, the first thing you're going to do is put that down, isn't it?
Absolutely. But if you've taken a tablet or you've got something stuck to your arm that continues to feed it,
Yeah.
then basically you wait until you feel the symptom before you do something about it, don't you?
Exactly
If
right.
it's at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's a bit too late, isn't it?
I like what Paul XB8 has written. Put the patches on over your eyes and then you can't find them until later.
That would increase their efficacy.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got all these danger warnings about e-cigs. You know, it can do this, it can do that. Beware of this, beware of that, beware of the bloody other. But we had to watch Absolutely Fabulous, which was a very funny program.
Yep.
Where Patsy covered herself in patches, right from head to toe, and was still smoking a tab, and we laughed at it. But where is the fairness there? That's acceptable, but us being in charge of how much nicotine we put in our e-cigs is not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Double bloody standards.
I don't think you need to apologise for that, frankly.
No, I
Me
don't
neither.
think so either.
So,
It's interesting that in chat we're saying there's a few people coming up and saying that they've never tried any of the NRT because they never wanted to stop. And I've got to put my hand up and say the only reason I ever used any of the NRT was on long flights.
yeah.
Because I tried one and I got taken to task about this by somebody on Twitter again. Can you not manage for 4 hours without a fag? Well, frankly, no, can't. Don't want to either. It's my choice.
That for me is the clinching argument. It's
Yes.
you know, why should I? You know, when there's there right now at least there's a perfectly acceptable. As you know, I vape on the plane twice a week, all the way to Switzerland at the moment and all the way back again. And the guy sitting next to me doesn't even know I'm doing it. So that's how blooming intrusive it is. Shall we take our first break?
Let's.
Let's take our first break. We'll be back in, I don't know, I think about a minute and a half, I think. Be right back.
Cloud9 Vaping, sponsors of Dave's Tap Box. Cloud9 Vaping, sponsors of Dave's Tap Box.
And welcome back. And hopefully everybody can hear me and there's no echo. Seems okay.
I'll check.
Yeah. The little LEDs have crashed in Wirecast again. They did that last week.
LEDs have crashed in.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. Right. So we were talking there about flights and what have you, and I've mentioned this a few times. Basically, from the taxi through the airport, through security at the airport. I can't remember the last time. In fact, since I started this project, I've taken about 12 flights so far, and I haven't even been asked at either end about my e-cigs now. They're used to seeing them. And literally, I just chuck them on. I chuck the one I'm using on top of my coat or whatever as it goes through the X-ray machine, and then I carry on in the departure lounge or in the business lounge or whatever, and then I vape on the plane. I always get a window seat and look out the window, and I'm just very careful about how much vapour I let escape. And and basically, if you don't behave suspiciously, then nobody even notices what you're doing. It's that simple.
I mean, I've told the story a few times about when we went across to Lanzarote the first year I had e-cigs, and I had with me a 901 and a 510 and a couple of 084s.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in my seat and just, where is it? Imagine that's a 901.
Right.
And I was just sitting there like that. And every so often I would go down to the crossword that I wasn't filling in and just make it look as though I was doing something. Another couple of draws, deep inhale,
That's
back
it.
down to the crossword. And the chief trolley dolly, because we were right at the front of the plane, she couldn't have been more than an arm's length away from me. When we got to the end of the flight, I stood up and picked out the 901 and just went, "Oh, that's better. Oh, that's lovely." She says, "Oh," she says, because she was a Geordie lass, she says, "You cannot use one of them on here and crash the plane." I says, "Well, you must have a bloody good piloting pet, because I've been chuffing on it all the way from Newcastle to Lanzarote and he hasn't even hit a bump."
Yeah. It really is, it's all about perception, isn't it? It's funny, there was a comment there just in chat from Paul XB8, and he was saying that Ryanair sell e-cigs on the flight. Well, if you were watching this show, when was it? Back last sort of September, October time?
October.
And Dave and we actually got on Ryanair flights. He flew from Newcastle and I flew from Birmingham to go to Dublin for Irish Vape Fest. And it's not actually e-cigs they sell. What were they called? Can you remember what they were called?
Similar.
That's it. They're like little foam tubes, and they've supposedly got nicotine droplets in the filter, but they don't work at all. They're certainly not electronic cigarettes, but they do smell like cow shit. But it's funny, if you hold one to your nose, it stinks awfully, so I really don't recommend that. But like, if you put one in your mouth and take a drag, there was no sensation at all. We actually hooked one up to an e-cig, didn't we, when we got to Ireland?
We did, yes.
If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll find there's a little review of them. And my advice would be, you're better off with a big biro, to be honest with you. Don't waste your money on them. They are utter crap. Have you tried those, Kat? These similar things?
Well, what was the one? It was a Crave Away. The one that
Yes.
Jez
I
managed
think, yeah,
to
similar
break
sort of
years
thing, wasn't
ago.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've tried one of those, and yeah.
Yeah, they're just a complete waste of time. Yeah, I just saw Daz from Safer Cigs has just said he paid €6 for a box. That's the one. To be honest with you, Marco, I'd be quite happy if they did ban them, because they probably could be banned easily under the Trades Description Act.
Well, they are a nicotine-containing product. They actually fall under the Tobacco Products Directive.
So it's not all bad then, you're telling me? Honestly, I didn't feel conned, because I knew it was going to be rubbish. And on my flight anyway, I opened them up because the lad selling them said they're not really very good. To be fair to him, the steward, he told me I was probably wasting my money. I said, no, it's fine, I tried one. And then it was a very short set when I established this didn't work, and the guy next to me saying, are they any good? And I said, no, they're rubbish, do you want one? And he tried one. He said, my God. He said, what a waste of... He said, sorry about your €6, dude.
Did they look like an e-cig?
No, they look like a cigarette.
Actually, they looked more like a tampon for a very tall midget.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest you could buy a lookalike,
Yeah.
and use that on the Ryanair, sort of making the suggestion that it's one of theirs. Just
Well, I did
be
on the way
careful
back.
not to stealth. Be careful to stealth.
The lad came back later and he said, what did you think? And by then I was using my e-cig again.
All right.
And he was quite happy with that. He sort of looked at me and nodded sort of understandingly, and I was just sat. I had the back row on the plane, You know, there was a lad sat next to me who smoked, and like I say, he tried one of these things, and they were crap. So I just got out the e-cig and used that quite openly, and they didn't mind at all. So,
well, if you remember, Dave, I got those Johnson and Johnson, not Johnson, Jasper and Jasper.
yes,
And they looked exactly like this. They were just all white with a little jewel
That's
on
it.
the end. So all the way back, I was sitting dragging on the Jasper and Jasper on the way back. And when we got off at the end, it was, did you enjoy your flight, sir? I just said, I did. Did I see that you were using an e-cig during the course of the flight, was it you were having, sir? I said, yes, it was. I thought as much. Did you enjoy your e-cig, sir? I said, yes, I did, and I got it in Ireland. Good on you, because those similar are shite. Fair enough.
Well, let's be honest. How many times have they sold those to holiday makers and stuff, only to be told, "I want my money back"? You know.
Yeah.
So I actually, you know, I don't feel I was conned because I was warned. But I got about 8 minutes of footage for VTTV out of it, so €6. That was a good price to pay, I thought.
Yeah,
and we did have a giggle. And if you look up that video that's on YouTube, there's myself and Dave and Jemima, and Gordy. And Shane, who organised Vape Fest Ireland, and we've got it attached. We're using it basically as the mouthpiece on, what was it, VV Nova or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. We're using the similar thing as a mouthpiece. And it's vile and disgusting.
I was going to say it wasn't very good at that either.
But on the subject of using e-cigs on planes, you know, like I say, you can use these things, and the guy next to you, and you know how modern planes are. You know, you've got a shared armrest. You're sort of touching the guy who sits next to you, and they'll be completely unaware that you're using the thing. So why then do you get situations like Winter Rogue was saying, where some pubs will let you use things like inhalators, but they won't let you use e-cigs? And the answer has got to be that it's got to be the vapor, hasn't it?
Oh yes, without a doubt.
It's the perception. Now we know Witherspoons, for example, they sat on the fence for a while, didn't they? And some of their managers would allow the use of e-cigs, and then they had to have a policy as the things. And I kind of understand that they're a chain, and they've got to have a policy that they apply equally across all their pubs, and they've come down on the side of no, we're not going to let people use e-cigs in here. And the reason that they've given, and I've got to be honest, whilst I think it's wrong, and I think it's very short-sighted, I can see where they're coming from. It's the vapour. People see the vapour, and your average idiot isn't capable of separating smoking from vaping.
Well, Cat should be all right then. You very rarely see vapour coming out of Cat.
Well, let's face it, she could do what she's doing there in a pub and nobody would know.
Well, Gillis and I...
Or on a plane.
When Gillis came back up home, we were sat in a Wetherspoons. I'm not going to say where, fear the manager gets wrong. I was hoping. And the pair of us were sitting, messing about with decent-sized stuff, and nobody said boo to a goose, apart from three lasses that were sat a little way along from us. And they're going, hey, what's that he's using? Because that looks as though we could get, where can you get one of them from? I think I want one of them because you can stop inside and when it's not raining, and when it is raining, and you can have a drink and get pissed and not go outside because my hair gets wet and I can't do a thing with it. It fizzes up the next day. Hey, where can you get them?
There's not much you can add to that, Dave. Follow that, but it's true. It's true. You know, I mean, I think people see the vapour, don't they? And I think if you're a smoker, you kind of get irritated because we can use them indoors, and they've got to go out in the rain and get their hair wet. And it's I don't know, like it's wrong, but I can kind of see the point of view. Does that make sense?
Well, I know where you're coming from, but here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. If the Nuggets in the EU got themselves sorted out and said, right, yes, look, these are a good thing. We're going to go with the Davis, Fjellner, Engstrom, Taylor, Davis set of amendments.
Yeah.
Get them out there. Get them on the telly. Get them advertised. Dancing babies near you and show them being used. show that they're good, you know, within 5 years, that's all anybody would be using. And as I don't know who it was that said it, but has everybody lost their sense of smell? I was down in Derby, well, not in Derby, but in Chatsworth, and the hotel we were staying at, don't go there. Food was crap, bed was creaky, room was cold, and then when we went to check out, now, you know what I'm like, Dave, and Chris, you know what I'm like as well. I don't not vape for anybody. It just doesn't happen. And right the way through, we ate there a couple of times, and when we came back after the night out, I decided to have a, what was it? Morgan's Spiced and Diet Coke, and it was the Diet Coke that sent us over the top. And I was sitting there and vaping away, fine. Nobody said boo to a goose. We went to check out after a couple of nights, and as we were checking out, I took a drag on that.
Right.
E-cig and an AGI on top. Took a drag on it, and I got this, you can't use that in here. Would you not use that in here? I said, I beg your pardon, sorry, what? We in last night, like? She said, you can't use that in here, you can't use that in here. I said, did you tell the 20-odd folks that were in last night using them that they couldn't either? Because everybody was using them last night. What are you on about? She said, no, we've got a policy. We've got a policy. E-cigs are not allowed. If you want to use an e-cig, you've got to go out with the smokers. I said, right, I tell you what, if we ever come back here again, and we're not, and I go out there again and I get exposed to second-hand smoke, I'm going to sue you. At which point my wife said, the bill's paid, let's go.
Yes, yeah. I've had a few of those conversations, especially with Dave, we're leaving. But,
yes.
sort of ending myself, yes. I just noticed a comment there from Russell Ord, you know, and he's saying that people have lost their sense of smell or whatever, and you know, and that it is smoking. It's not though, is it? It's not smoking, and you know, I think you're fundamentally missing the point, Russell. Smoking is illegal. Smoking has been banned as legislation. You can't do it indoors in public places. That is not the case with these things. So it's not smoking in that sense. And you know, I think, you know, to try and suggest that it is misses the point somewhat.
Misses the point a lot because it's defined in legislation.
Exactly.
Smoking,
there's no combustion.
Yeah, it's got to have lit whatever, whether it's tobacco or herbal. It has to be lit. These aren't. Mostly they're not even hot.
Exactly. Chris, we've stopped you saying anything for some time now.
It's all right, I can't get a word in edgeways for you two.
Sorry, Chris.
Feel free, dive in.
No, you're all right. You carry on.
So I'm sure we can manage that. I don't think it's any problem. But yeah,
you've covered all the points I would have anyway.
I think so. I'm just watching the comments in chat going through, you know, and it's you know, we all agree, don't we? It frustrates, you know, just going back to the likes of Wilmot. It's frustrating that they don't see what we can see. And I think that probably takes us conveniently to our second break. When we come back, Kat, you're going to share a tale of a new product, aren't you? A new clearomizer?
Yes, I'd be more than happy to.
Right here. Well, we'll be straight back for that then. See you in a bit.
Okay.
Cloud9 Vaping, sponsors of Dave's Tackle Box.
iVaper and iVaper Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. That's iVaper.co.uk and iVaper-elixir.co.uk. iVaper and iVaper-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of VaporTrails.tv.
And welcome back, everyone. Right, okay, so Chris, you received. I'll send you full screen. Tell us all about it.
Well, hopefully everybody can see this. This is called the Janty Clearo Top Coil Clearomizer. It's something that Janty have just brought out. And my opinion is it's probably out there to compete with the eVod and all the other bits and pieces that are out there. Now, Toby sent me this along with an order I'd put in. And yeah, it's stainless steel. I didn't look on his website, mind. I didn't look to see what it was. I didn't even have a clue it was Janty, to be honest. I thought, right, how do you fill this? Okay, you just unscrew the top, and syringe in or drop in, which is what I did. And then I took a taste of it. And the draw was incredibly tight. Incredibly tight. And I thought, why the heck? So I took it off the Evic that I use nearly all the time, as everybody knows.
I thought that was actually now sort of clinically joined to your hand, actually.
Well, it was, yeah. But I had to search out for something else, and this is what I've come with. It's the battery from the eVod. And I put it on there, and instantly the draw was lighter.
Okay.
So it doesn't like anything that's got a sunken fitting.
Okay.
Okay, so if all you've got is that type of fitting, forget it. It isn't going to work.
Righto.
So right, I put my ice cream flavour in, which I'm very into at the moment. And if I knew what crystal meths taste like, I might say it tasted like that. It was horrible. It was horrible. I thought, what on earth? So, okay, I tried the same juice in the eVod. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What's going on here? So I got on to Toby. Me. And I said, that thing tastes horrible. Oh no, he says, tastes much better than most. Really good, much better than the eVod. Oh no, it doesn't. So we got into a 2-day slanging match, as you do. You know, as you do. And then it dawned on me today, hang on a minute, he vapes tobacco type flavours. He's into the heavier flavours. I don't. So I thought, what's the heaviest stuff sort of got? So I thought my apple and caramel. So I put that in, and to be fair, it tasted better. So point number 2, it's not good if you're into the delicate flavours.
Right.
It's lovely if you're into the heavier ones. So keep that in mind. The only criticism I would have then would be that tip. Now, 2 years ago, they came out in the Janty A and the Janty B atomizer.
Yes.
2 or 3 years ago, Dave. Be round about that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a couple of years, I'd say, yeah.
And I feel that's a step backwards because everything else on here is nice stainless steel. And the tank is a good one. The polycarb on there is good. It isn't going to crack.
Right.
It's going to take, the fire and ice and all those out there. But that's dating it a little bit. I mean...
See, I've got to be honest, I quite like the look of that mouthpiece.
It's just rather large. And
it does look a bit big,
you had these back in the old days, didn't you?
Those sort of...
Well, we were young years ago.
Yeah. You see, I like flat drip tips. So, which camera are we on? So I've got like a whistle tip on this.
They're going to be for you. If you like the flat ones, but they are a bit large.
It does
For
look
me,
a bit
it's the
wide, yeah.
negative.
That's the width of an ego battery, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
I mean, that's
tip is-
working lovely with that. And the throated on it is fabulous.
Right.
It's very, very good. But with a delicate juice, it's not. It holds, I think, 1.6 mil. And it's a top coil in there. But I'm comparing it with the likes of this, which is the Anakin iClear 30. We've got all nice modern designs. We've got little twiddly things, whether you like them or not. We've got them. It fills more or less the same way.
Right.
But those stumpy little coils remind me very much of the EVOD.
Right.
Know?
Okay. Yeah.
So I thought I would share with you guys. It's 2 ohm, anything between 2 and 2.2.
Right.
But it's canny, but it's $10.95, which I think is quite a lot of money.
That's not cheap, is it?
No. But I do feel, for me, I'm going to say this, my opinion. Facts are, you all like different things.
This is true.
That, to me, dates it a little bit.
Okay.
I would have liked to have seen some sort of new tip on there, or, I mean, look at the Pro Tank. That looks very elegant. You know, this thing looks very elegant. Even the EVOD with its glass tip on the top looks very nice. It's 2013, so I think, I would expect Janty to be a bit more with it.
Yeah,
but
I get your point.
To sum that up, all you guys out there that like the heavier flavours, I think you'll like this. In fact, I'm sure of it. Easy filled, nice vape, but don't put it in anything sunken.
Okay, that's good to know. And it's interesting there, you mentioned the EVOD there. Now, obviously, I've been using these since just about the time I started travelling backwards and forwards to Switzerland. And I've had kind of mixed fortunes with them. Now, I actually realised it earlier because I noticed that there seemed to be juice oozing from somewhere. And I know that the pressurised cabins on the plane cause a few problems and what have you. But what I hadn't realised until earlier was that the battery casing had filled up with juice. That's where most of it was going. So it was lying on its side and it's leaked out through the switch, which doesn't... It's still working. And I think, I sort of blew in the end and I think I got most of it out and it seems to still be working. But something I noticed, I mixed all that DY4, I mixed, was it 250ml a couple of months back? And I made it with 30% flavour. And then the batch I made a couple of weeks ago, I made it with 25% flavour. And it's such a lighter colour, it's nowhere near as dark and nowhere near as heavy. And I'm actually finding I'm getting more flavour out of the EVOD with the new juice than the old one. So I'm guessing it was gunking the coil up too much, the old stuff.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And the coils are lasting longer, and my Genesis coils are lasting longer with the lighter juice. But they actually, I kind of expected that, but I didn't expect that I'd get more flavour from it. I just thought I'd share that with you because it was a bit of a...
Well, I find the EVOD is my stable. I tend to be going for it all the time because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And I followed your tip about hoying it in the sonic cleaner.
I've got a coil here which I put in the cleaner a while ago and then put to dry and then forgot about. So this is one that I gave up on, and I keep meaning to attach it to something and giving it a try. Actually, in fact, why don't I do that? I noticed Dave was putting his hand up like a child.
Yes.
In class there. So shall we let him speak?
Yes.
Go on, Dave. What were you going to say?
All right, then. I was just going to say that the mouthpiece on the Janty clearomizer,
It's the same one that's on the Puramizer, by the looks of it. That one that they came up with.
I knew it looked familiar. Yes, that's the thing.
Rather large.
Yes, it's the one that was on the Puramizer. And if you use it on an auto battery and you've got a sharp tooth, you'll dig your way through it. Just thought I'd point that out.
Well, I mean, it looks canny there on that EVOD battery, doesn't it? Gotta admit, it looks quite canny on there.
Looks good.
It looks so familiar though, Dave.
Yeah. It reminded me a bit. Do you remember the Fartos?
The pre-filled... I was thinking more in terms of those CE8s that we bought from Cassandra in Ireland.
No, that was the Apollo thing. Was that a CE8? Yeah. I'm not sure if it was a CE8, but it did remind me a bit of that. Until I saw the mouthpiece close up there. That's a lot bigger on the one that Chris has got.
Yes. Can I just say thank you to Pete Dermody? He will know why.
By all means.
Can we Twitter bomb Dave D's missus so he gets an iPad mini for his birthday?
You want an iPad mini, do you? You
Whip
want an
It Up
iPad
wants
mini?
to know what canny means. It means not bad, quite good, something in between. It means you like it. Okay, Whip It Up.
I have just put the coil that was no good, that I then put in the ultrasonic cleaner, back into the EVOD. This is a moment of truth. So if I choke, you'll have to wind the show up on your own, guys.
Well, you'll have to work it. That's working.
It's working. Flavour's not there, but that was the first drag.
Nose hit, nose hit, nose hit, nose hit, nose hit, nose hit.
Okay, explain what the nose hit is.
You take the drag, but
Yeah.
instead of drawing it down into your lungs,
Yeah.
you press it out of your nose.
I'm not sure if I can actually physically do that, but I'll try. Like that.
Yeah,
That was alright.
but with a proper size draw. There you go.
I think I breathed that in first.
You can always tell.
What? Physically do it? How can you get it out through your nose if you don't breathe it in?
What you do? You take a breath through your nose as you're dragging, but don't take any vapor down. And then as you breathe out, push your tongue up, and you'll get it out your nose without it hitting your lungs.
Just did. Cleared me passages out well, that.
It's rather nice, isn't it?
Stings a bit.
That's the proper job. Everybody in chat needs to do it on 3.
I think most of them are trying, watching the comments there. I think most of them are trying. Okay, here we go. So. Yeah, it stings a bit.
There's a touch. Try that with 45.
What was it in the Raven Vapes thing? I could sell my boogers as candy.
Absolutely. Winter Oak says it stings. Castello 544 says it's not fun. Bulldog 1970's done it, but has made no other comment than that.
Bulldog's giving me a lift to the knees up.
Oh, corking.
Now, how's that for a,
how's my tissue?
How's that for a seamless link to the knees trailer?
There you go.
Let's play that. Nice one, Bulldog. I owe you one. I'll owe you 2 when you give me a lift. It ended. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. There was a bit of darkness there for a second. Yes, I can see, reading the comments in chat there, that everybody's trying nose hits. It's another craze. I think it was, it might have been Winter Rogue said it stings. Yeah, it did a bit with me too. But only for the first 3 or 4. After that, it got easier. Right, somebody did say now an ear hit. I really don't know how to do that.
You need a perforated eardrum to do that, I think.
Right.
Nah.
Don't think I've got one of those. handy,
No, and I've just gone right off Pete Dermody. He wants me to do it now at 18 watts, the nostril hit up the nose. There's a phrase for people like you, Pete.
Aye.
Not a hope. This coil's working perfectly. I'm not taking a chance on burning it out.
Oh dear. 18 watts. That's insane. Right.
It's actually nice until the coil gets so blisteringly hot that it won't stop producing. Madre doesn't like a nose hit.
I'm just no, yes, it doesn't like that. There were a few comments there. Some of them have scrolled off now.
Yes.
Stick your drip tip up your nose. That's a proper nose hit.
Just did.
Did you? I missed that.
Yeah.
I was looking the other way.
36 milligram RY6.
That went well. Go on then, I'll try it.
9 watts. Christ.
9 watts. Okay.
It went in, but it didn't come out.
It's got into your head, Dave.
I'm going to sneeze.
Now Gillis wants us to take a big drag and hold it. All right. Crikey. The things we do for daftness. Here we go.
What, through the nose or?
Mm-mm. Stealth. There you go. And Kronos has said he's got one nostril bigger than the other. No, I've got a separated septum, I think. One more. Big drag. My drags, mine. These are proper drags.
God, that was fire and ice. That was a bit much down your nose.
I tell you what, this is what the viewing public wants.
Aye.
Nothing.
Sadists, a lot of them.
It's like Matthew Wright on VTTV, isn't it?
It is, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh dear.
Can you do an Irish waterfall, Dave?
Yes. Yes, if I've got something that will create enough vapour at the moment. This EVOD's glowing a bit hot at the moment.
That's all right, did it. I managed it, so I did. It went up me nose and out of me mouth. It's lovely. Irish waterfall. I like it a lot. It's good, you know.
Doesn't
I
make
see
enough
Chris
vapour.
has been very ladylike with our new hairdo.
Yes,
I'm always ladylike, I'll have you know.
Yes, Lady Wilmington Smythe Minge Pewcritchley speaks with her daughter Virginia.
Yeah, and she doesn't know I recorded that pre-show bit either.
Excuse me, the sinus has decided to unblock itself.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Right.
Oh, I can. That's lovely. Oh, Jeff Benyon.
What's
Have you
he said?
seen what Jeff Benyon's put in chat, Chris?
I have.
Corner.
I have. And
It's
Jeff
not
Benyon's
top and tails, it's
always
collar and
the
cuffs.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, some good advice there to clean your drip tips now, by the way, guys.
Is
I
this
did.
how Monty Python's got started, says Egomaniac. Yeah, they got all their tips from us. All of them.
Well, I think we've probably reached the end of this here show.
I think we have.
I hate to tell you, but we've only got 30 seconds left.
Then I'd better run the credits. Can I just say thank you very much to Chris and Dave for joining me tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. It was a bit of a giggle. And I'll be back again for more. Same time next week. So bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
sponsors of Dave's Tackle Box.